Having gone through this video is going to cover the actual step of setting up some products physically into the PIM itself using an Excel spreadsheet in this instance, but using this import button here where we're going to upload a file, create some new records. Just to recap, we've extracted all of our data, we've analyzed it, we've cleaned it or enhanced it, we've changed some items in the PIM, but effectively we want to create the data in the PIM for the first time. And in this instance, we're going to use a pre-prepared file that I've got, which has got some of the fields that exist in the PIM. We've got some data in them. But the key point is we're going to create an item, the two key fields. We're going to create a code, a product code, which can be exactly the same that you use in an ERP system or some other. It can be a brand new coding system if you so wish, but equally, a description, what you would know in an ERP as a short description or whatever. This is not limited like an ERP. You can actually set up how long this, what the length of this is, what the types, etc., etc. So, this is very, very flexible in that. But in the PIM, it uses these two combined areas in a lot of ways to find product. When you're searching for things as well. So, we can concatenate fields for searching and finding product much, much easier. So I've created a file here. What I'm going to do now is really just go to the next process. So, we've decided how we're going to import them. We've added fields and data labels, and now we're really at creating our first import file into the PIM. For this purpose, we are using Excel, but you can integrate in many, many different ways. So it could be a direct integration from your existing system into the PIM, using APIs. But in this instance, we're going to do this. So as I say, I've created my file. I go to, let's just go back a stage. I'm going to my products, in this instance, my product object, and I'm just going to press the import button. You can see there's a number of options. In this instance, we're going to navigate to our file. I think it's that one, isn't it? Yep. And we're basically going to, in this instance, create new records because the records don't exist. We've got other options. Update existing records. For this, you need the ID that the unique ID that the system creates on creating a record. You can create it or update existing records, or you can delete records. So we're basically just going to create new records. We press the next button, and this is going to present us with some options. Those options being that it's clearly mapping. It knows the map. So you can see that some of these fields are physically filled in. So that's quite useful. We'll talk about this in much more detail going forward, but it's recognized a lot of these fields. You can save maps, so you can have some predetermined maps here. If you're doing things very, very consistently, but in this instance, I'm just going to use this as my import map because I know that these fields have been done. I've got some options down here in terms of the import mode. I'm just going to create this is normal. I may have some pick list items in this instance. I'm just going to leave them off for the purposes of this exercise, and we can use this to show how we can update records using the same data in this. But this is just going to create 3 records. So in this instance, I just submit it. your imports being queued, results will be emailed, and very shortly, if I just go back into my product object and just search for my areas, you can see that we've created our first 3 products here within the PIM. The key point here is, so we'll just do this as a shorter one. So we've got our 3 parts. The key elements here is, you can see that we've got the product code and the description in this instance. So, I can find products using this. So, for example, if I just type the name in there, you can see, I'm finding this, anything that's got name here. We've got enamel down here. So, this is just quick ways of finding things, in terms of the data that we enter. So, it's a good way of finding products. So if we just go back to this, go back to our test, and that's the simple way of seeing how you can do this. Also, I would have got an email just notifying me of the import into the system, and there it is. Development tells me that it's created 3 records, there are no errors and whatever. Very important. So if I was to just export this list, so we can actually see and just export what we've created, because the key item here is it's actually created what's called an ID, which you could always find or add to a view, but it's a really important number. This is the number that we're going to use. So for any future update of this, this is the number it's going to link to, this ID, this product ID, that effectively is this record here within the system. So that's how the system, that's its unique record number for this, and you can see it in the URL bar here, as well. So that's a simple method of, we've basically created our file and added our values and imported it directly into the system. So that just gives you some idea of how to do an initial